Last time, the game progress was completed till the 3rd level of our game. So, as per my production plan for the version 1.0, I need just 5 levels. So now, we have 2 levels left to add. So I started to implement level 4. I thought the earlier levels have 2 types of enemies. So to make the remaining 2 levels more difficult, I need to add 1 more enemy type. So I drawn a default enemy type that can only be killed by the default enemy player. I implemented the enemy into the game, and after testing it, the game is more challenging and fun. Next, I implemented the level 5. Now, it's time for me to tweak the difficulty of the levels in a way that the player won't find the game too difficult to play or too easy. Otherwise, it will become boring. I did that by, if you want to clear the first level of the game, you have to survive until you kill 25 enemies and you have to defend against 2 enemies. And I made the maximum speed and minimum time between spawn less, so the player feels the first level easy. For the second level, you have to survive until you killed 50 enemies, and you have to defend against 2 enemies, and this time I increased the maximum speed a little bit. For the 3rd level, you have to survive until you kill 75 enemies, and you have to defend against 2 enemies. I have increased the maximum speed more. For the 4th level, you have to survive until you killed 100 enemies, and you have to defend against 3 enemies this time, and the maximum speed go brrr. For the 5th level, you have to survive until you killed 150 enemies, and you have to defend against 3 enemies, and I'm 100% sure this level is so difficult that you cannot finish it. Now our gameplay is done. I noticed that when my player collides with the enemy, my player just disappears. I want that my player goes out of the screen flying when it collides with the enemy. So I made a tween that will select a random position out of the screen and tween the player position while the player being constantly rotating. I liked this little effect. I also made that when this happens, both of the touch buttons will be disabled. When you cleared a level, the game directly loads the next level. I don't want it in this way. I'd want to add a game worn UI. So I went to my Adobe Illustrator and draw some game worn boards. I implemented those boards into the game and made a pop-up animation for the boards. Now, when you complete the level, the worn board will pop up. The thing that took most of my time is level transitions. I learned basics of Unity's shader graph to made cool looking scene transitions. Even I accomplished what I wanted to a certain extent. But I realized that unfortunately Unity doesn't support shaders in UI screen space overlay mode, and there goes my 3 days of work and effort into the trash. I mean, it wasn't a complete waste of time. I learned about shader graph and it will definitely help me in future. Now, to add transitions, what I did, I approached it in a simple way. I took the player character and made it black. I put the mask component on it and I made a script that inverted the mask, so you can only see the inside of that shape. I animated it and it ended up like this. I'm pretty happy with the results. It's looking good in my opinion. What do you think? I made the second build of my game and tested in my mobile, and the difficulty feels good. The transition feels good, but what I realized is that the touch area needs to be a little big, because sometimes in hurry, you don't exactly tap on the button. I increased the touch area and it feels nice. This was all for this devlog. There are some things left now for the game which hopefully will be completed by next week. So yeah, see you in the next devlog.